What is going on, everybody? My name is Keenan Costain, and welcome back to another episode of Hornets Recaps. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing the Charlotte Hornets losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers 94-87 on ESPN on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. And without further ado, let's take a look at the box score and let's take a look at some of my thoughts during this game. All right, so looking at some numbers here from the Cleveland Cavaliers, you had Donovan Mitchell scoring 24 points on 8 field goals made, and he had only 2 3-pointers made by Donovan Mitchell to go along with 6 assists and 3 rebounds. And Evan Mobley played a huge factor in this game, scoring 14 points and 14 rebounds in this contest with 3 blocked shots. And you also had Jared Allen having 13 points on 9 rebounds on 2 blocked shots during this contest. And the duo of Evan Mobley and Jared Allen played a huge role on the offensive glass and on the defensive glass, which we'll get to in a short moment. And for the Charlotte Hornets side, we got Keenan scoring the 21 points on 8 field goals made, along with 2 3-point shots made on 11 rebounds. So another double-double for Keenan in this game. We had Brandon Miller leading the way with 24 points, 8 field goals made, along with three-pointers made with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. And LaMelo Ball having 2 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. That's it. 2 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists.
What?
That to me is eye-opening, and we'll get more into that also in a second. Taking a look at the team stats from this game, it was an ugly field goal percentage from both sides of the Cleveland Cavaliers side. We had 39.1% to the Hornets, 33.7%. The three-pointers, oh, the three-point percentage. Cleveland, 8 for 40, 20%. And the Hornets had 8 for 47, which is 17%. The free throws, 75% for Cleveland and 72.2% for Charlotte. And like I said, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, being the power forward and center players that they are, played a huge role. 60 points, 60 rebounds, I should say, to the Hornets, 47. Offense rebounds, tied with 17 apiece. The defensive rebounds, 43 to 30, Cleveland winning that one. The assist numbers, tied at 20 apiece. 8 block shots for Cleveland, 4 block shots for Charlotte. Steals, 12 for Charlotte, 6 for Cleveland. Turnovers was 20, and Charlotte with 12 turnovers. Turnovers, Hornets winning that one 21-20. Fast break, 26-9, Hornets winning that one. Points in the paint, 50-46. Points per possession, 0.85 to Cleveland's 0.93. Personal fouls, and was the 23 for Charlotte, 21 for Cleveland. And Charlotte did not lead this game at all. And Cleveland leading this game wire to wire with the largest lead being 27. Real quick before we get into more of this game, in my opinion, the box score by quarter was 33-20. Cleveland winning the first quarter, 23-12. Cleveland winning the second, 32-20, winning the third quarter, and the Hornets winning 23-18 in the fourth quarter. So where do I begin? Well, the Charlotte Hornets had a televised game on ESPN last night, facing the Cleveland Cavaliers on Rivals Week. And let's just say the news came out just before the game even started that LaMelo Ball was once again coming off the bench for the third time this year. It was already 13-2 with 8:07 left in the first quarter, and right away LaMelo Ball had to be pulled right off the bench. and help this team get a spark going. And it seemed like, from what I saw last night, it was just a disjointed effort. Everybody looked lost. Everybody didn't seem to get into rhythm. LaMelo Ball did not get into rhythm at all in all the 3 games that he played. And that to me is is quite concerning that LaMelo Ball, being the player that he is able to start in these types of games. But despite the fact, like I said before, the coaching staff dealing with some management with that ankle. And Draymond Green, like I said in the last video, was right on the current situation. And it's starting not to look good as the Hornets game plan is starting to fall apart. And that to me is disappointing. Hey, this is Post Keenan here. Forgot to mention that LaMelo Ball went 1 for 15 from the field, is shooting 0 for 10 from 3, and also it is 0 for 3 in games played coming off the bench. Okay, bye. As a fan that watches the games, to a fan that of LaMelo Ball, to the people that come to the arena to see LaMelo Ball play, just to figure out, oh, he's coming off the bench. Wait a minute, what? He's coming off the bench? But it's ESPN. Everybody's here. Mike Breen, Richard Jefferson. They're doing a pregame show on us, saying how good the Charlotte Hornets are doing in the last 18 or 19 games throughout this stretch, beating teams that they're not supposed to beat. And yet, being almost embarrassed on national television, being down as much as 27 in the first half is unacceptable if you're a team. And I hope with the coaching staff and the training staff, they come up with a new plan, because I think with the LaMelo Ball experiment, I think it's officially done. I gave it some time, and I really think LaMelo Ball should continue to become a starter the rest of the year, or whenever his last game as a Charlotte Hornet might be, because there's rumors going around that he might be traded during this trade deadline, which I'll get to in another video. It's just unacceptable, man. I'm disappointed of how the Hornets came out the gate, and just to basically almost lay an egg, almost wet the bed on national television. And you have these journalists on the pregame show talking about, oh, the Hornets are building something, the Hornets are building something, and yet they just fall flat. They just fall extremely flat. And with the stream percentage, what I just read, that is horrendous. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before in all my years of watching basketball and watching the Hornets basketball organization play on TV. So even before the game started, I decided to go back and think about this. Okay, I will go check out the ESPN coverage for 1 quarter. I did that. So I did that for the first quarter. The second quarter, I went to the FanDuel Sports Network where Eric Collins and Dell Curry were on the call. Third quarter and halftime, I watched the ESPN coverage just to see what the people at ESPN were saying, and they weren't even talking about the Hornets. They were thinking about already the next game, which was the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver and Oklahoma City Thunder game. And that to me was disgraceful, sure, in my opinion. And to think that the Hornets had another half to play, ESPN thought, well, this game's already said and done. And yet, in the second half, the Hornets all turn off the defensive intensity, and we're able to get on runs thanks to Brandon Miller, thanks to Con Knipple that stepped up. LaMelo Ball did not step up this game, like I read in the stats. And that to me is an eye-opener to what the Hornets are trying to do. And like I said before, I really think it's time for new ways and new strategies to play out the rest of the year with LaMelo Ball, with the rotations. And that to me is uncalled for. It's very despicable. I just can't think of any more words to describe it. It's just awful. I guess I would say this about the game in general, the final score being 94-87, only losing by 7 points. It could have been worse. We could have lost by 40. We could have lost by 45. Heck, I think the Hornets could have lost by 50 this game, about how poorly the Hornets have executed the game plan against Cleveland yesterday night. And to me, to have a huge run at the end of the game was good to see. But like I said, in previous videos and throughout my friends that I talk to online or friends I talk to on the phone, I have to get off to a better start. It's, like I said, it's unbearable to watch. And even for the casual fan, not even for the fans that arrive to the arena, say that, oh, LaMelo Ball is not starting. LaMelo Ball's coming off the bench. That's odd. It's a televised game. It's rivals week for one thing, and yet ESPN wants to promote us in a situation where the Hornets are actually doing something good, and yet the Hornets are laying an egg on national television and almost getting blown out, especially at home as well, is totally unacceptable. So in conclusion, it's embarrassing for a team in the NBA just to get manhandled in the first half like that, and yet to have a chance to get back into this game. The closest the Hornets have ever come back in this contest was 4 points, and they were able to capitalize. Let's just hope that the Charlotte Hornets bring a valiant effort against the Orlando Magic tonight on the road, and they gotta look themselves in the mirror, man. Every single one of them, the players, the coaching staff, the training staff, and just come up with a new plan for LaMelo Ball and for the rotations. Because I think with the LaMelo Ball coming off the bench, experiment is done for, and that's what I think about that. So that'll do it for another episode of Hornets Recaps. Again, my name is Keenan Costain, and if you like what you see, feel free to give it a like, subscribe down below for more, and until next time, have a good one, folks. See ya.